Anthony back again with another video demonstrating what you could do with the Boss GT100. Now today we're bringing something a little bit different because I've dialed in a really good organ tone that you can use on your guitar. Now a lot of people, when they try to get an organ tone, they have to use a MIDI compatible pickup or different things, like say the Boss, I think it's a GR55 or something like that. But we did it with the Boss GT100. There's no latency because it's going straight into the pedal. It doesn't have to be transferred, the signal, and then retransferred when it gets into the unit, like a lot of these, like with the MIDI pickup, the 13-pin pickup that a lot of people have to use for the different tones. It's very responsive tone, and it's got a lot of variations. We have a regular church organ tone. Then we have a warm organ lead sound. We have a deep purple kind of distorted organ sound. And we have the wah pedal doing things. We have the expression pedal doing things. We have stuff assigned to the Excel pedal. We have stuff assigned to the phrase loop pedal. This is what I call an advanced patch. Now, for you guys that have the Boss and you're able to plug into your computer, you won't have to worry about trying to dial in the tone because for free I have it in the description, a Dropbox link that you can download the tone and just upload it into your Boss. You can go onto YouTube and learn how to do that. There's a lot of videos out there that show you that. But this is, like I said, one of the advanced tone. And the next series of videos that I'll be bringing to you guys, starting with this one, we're going to start talking about a little bit of more advanced tones using your Boss. We're talking about different types of panning stuff that I use for the left and right speakers, and different ways you can combine the acoustic simulator with an amp to make it sound like you're playing an acoustic guitar and doubling it with electric guitar. We're also going to have a fluty kind of sound where when you play the notes, the notes swell in. That gives it a flute sound. It's my take on a flute sound with the guitar. So without too much more talking, because this is a long video, we're talking about 15 minutes, 14 minutes or so, because there's a lot in this patch. I hope you appreciate the work I put into this patch for you guys. So without any further ado, we're going to go into this patch and check it out. Boss GT100, the organ sound. So the default tone is, of course, phrase loop off, the Excel off, expression pedal, rock backward. Same tone, we're going to rock the expression pedal forward all the way, and it's going to detune the signal more, so it gets more of that warbly organ type sound. Okay, alright, so now let's engage the wah. So it's still detuned when you go forward, and it goes back to less detuned backward, but the wah's engaged. First thing I do when I rock the expression pedal backward is it warms up, of course it warms up the tone because it rolls off all the highs. just a little bit up, and you start bringing in different frequencies, mid and high frequencies. So I like that tone. I actually use that a lot. With the wah engaged and it backward and just ease forward a little bit. So if you use the wah pedal like a traditional wah, you can get sounds that really are original tones, because we're using guitar technology with an organ type sound. We can do stuff that really organ players can't do, and I'll just demonstrate a little bit. So just to describe it, of course the wah's on, so bassy treble, but also pay attention to that warble effect, because when we go forward it gets more detuned, and we go backward it gets back to, more in tune. So it gives you a big variation in sounds that, like I said, organ players can't get. Really cool tones. Okay. All right. So turn the wah off and rock the pedal backward. Hit the phrase loop pedal, and it brings in the guitar signal, doubling the organ sound. I'll go into the second position on my pickup selector. Split the coil, let's see how that sounds. Because there's lower octave tones with the overtone effect that we're using to get the organ sound, you can do this snappy kind of stuff that would sound like a bass player, and it sounds, I like the way it sounds. It sounds real rhythmic and authentic. It does not sound thin at all, like you would expect out of maybe guitar strings, but very nice. Well, let's just get the wah forward. Not the wah, but the expression pedal forward. Hear that warble effect? I don't know what the organ players call that effect, but I'm not an organ player, so I'm calling it the warble effect, that detuned effect. Back to the initial setting, the expression pedal back. We turned off the phrase loop. We're going to turn the Excel pedal on. We're going to add distortion on there, and it turns off the EQ, and it adds delay. So we get this really cool, almost deep purple kind of tone. Now this tone, it responds to dynamics, so you pick harder or you pluck harder and softer, and it changes, almost changes the gain a little bit. So here's soft again. If I hit it hard, soft, hard. The thing I've noticed on this particular patch, because like I was mentioning earlier, there's lower octave tones added with the overtone. When you play here, it might be not as maybe too bassy, maybe not as detailed. Let me demonstrate. So when you take that up an octave here, it still sounds like if you're playing over here on a traditional guitar, but because of lower effects, it kind of fattens it up, and I like this a lot. I use this a lot on the songs I've been using with this. Let's add the wah. Well, let's add the warble first. Start it off without the warble, and then ease it in. Add the wah. Pretty cool. Okay, a couple of variations. Going back to the original setting. Well, there's not enough pedals unless you buy the external pedals, but there's a couple other things you can do. For example, on this patch here, if I want, this is the way it sounds with the EQ. If I want to fatten it up a little bit, I just, warm it up. Take off the highs. You turn the EQ off, and it kind of warms it up a little. EQ without EQ. Depending on the setting that you're playing in, that's more like a hymnal, like gospel hymnal type of tone, I would think. That's one variation. The other one that I do is I take the chorus pedal, same settings. Well, you can add it to anything, but just turn the chorus on, and it kind of it's a stereo chorus. Let me see. Yeah, it's a stereo chorus. So especially if you have headphones, or if you're pan left and right on, like, say, the monitors or the PA speakers, or you're recording left and right, it gives it a stereo effect. So this is normal, and I'm gonna switch the chorus on. Hear that? If you have headphones, you can hear it. It goes back and forth between the two speakers or your ears. It's a slight back and forth, but I think it sounds really nice. So put the wah on. What is that? The warble, actually. Let's see how it sounds. Oh, rich sounding. Sounds very almost like a church organ.